John Edwards for Griffins TV alongside head basketball coach Kevin Walsh. And coach, happy holidays to you. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas with the family.
Yeah, it was a great Christmas. Christmas holiday is always a special time with the family, and good to kind of get away for a day or so and just get to be a dad for a while. And Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to you. I know you're playing hurt today, so I appreciate your willingness to play through some pain.
Hey, I do what I can. It's not a lot, but I do what I can.
Well, I appreciate it, John. We all of Griffin Nation appreciates your sacrifice.
What is that one family tradition that you guys uphold every year?
That's a great question. I don't know if we're a big tradition family. We're big fans of the Elf on the Shelf, and so every year our elf sends a letter to our kids and lets them know that he's leaving after Christmas Eve, and he allows them to, because you're not supposed to touch the elf; it loses its magic. He allows them to give them hugs and kisses and say goodbye in a proper send off on Christmas Eve. So that's kind of a fun tradition for us. Everything else is kind of centered around just family and where we spend our holidays. At my mom's on Christmas Eve and my wife's on Christmas Day. So we don't have a great big, we don't go caroling or anything like that.
What's your favorite Christmas dinner? Like the best part of the Christmas dinner, like meal wise for you? What is that? What does that entail?
Well,
because you're a healthy guy.
Not a healthy eater. So this year we did a little something different. So Mitch Wilson, who played for us last year, his mom helps run the Christie Banquet Center down in South City, and she is the daughter of. There was an old restaurant in St. Louis, used to be called Ron and Shirley's. I know you're not from St. Louis, so you don't remember it, but they had the best pizza and salad, and they make those pizzas and salad down at the Christie. So for Christmas Eve dinner with my family, I have two older sisters. We had Ron and Shirley's pizza and salad, which was like harkening back to the early 80s when we were kids growing up. So it was a good memory to talk about all our times at their restaurant. So that was probably the best part of Christmas dinner today, or this year.
We get past Christmas. You work on the coaches versus cancer this week. Tough matchup against Eureka, but let's go back a couple of weeks since I haven't had a chance to talk to you. Winners of two, losers of two out of your last three. You win against Lutheran South. You lose to DeSmet in a game in which I watched, and it seemed like every shot that was put in the air by us was 2/3 of the way down and bounced right out. And every shot that DeSmet launched, no matter where it was going in.
Well, you are a good homer, announcer and fan, so I appreciate that perspective. I had not thought about that. DeSmet's an experienced team. They've got a couple Division I guards. I thought they did a really nice job of coming out and just taking away kind of what we wanted to do. They did a really good job on Adam Cecile, who came in leading the area in scoring, and they really tried to take him away. They did a good job taking Luke away and giving him clean looks. And then they came out and they shot it unbelievably early, and we got buried pretty heavily early and really couldn't dig out of that hole. I think in the third quarter we had a nice stretch of about 5 or 6 possessions where we really played, I thought, the way we were capable of. We might have cut it to 12 or 13, but we just couldn't get enough stops and we couldn't keep them off the boards. And they were the better team that night and deserved to win.
You go out and take on Priory, a team that you saw at the Lutheran St. Charles tournament, a different team because they had some kids that were COVID, that were on the COVID list prior to that game, but had them back. A game in which you had to lead, but in the third quarter ran up against some tough times.
Yeah, a very different team. I tried to warn our guys that, we were not playing the same Priory team. They have a excellent junior point guard who's averaging about 23 a game, and they had another forward who's about 6'4", good athlete, and then a big guy inside, none of whom played against us. So really 3 starters that did not play at all against us the first time we played against them. Adam Cecile was really good for us. Charlie Spoonhour was sick and he wasn't at the game, and that hurt our depth a lot. Kel Battle was battling, no pun intended, foul trouble, and then fouled out pretty early in the fourth, and so that hurt our depth a little bit. And again, it was a night I didn't think we shot it as well as we could, and still down the stretch we had cut it to a one possession game, and I thought they were a little bit more physical than us. I thought they I don't want to say bullied in a negative term, but they sort of enforced their will physically against us. And as a young team, we have to learn how to play through that and not react and respond to that. For our guys, we always point to Adam and to Brandon Hebrank, our seniors, because, over the course of their career, they've learned how to do that. But our young guys, our sophomores and our freshmen, they have to figure that out. Because if I was playing us, that's the thing I would say is be real physical with them. Bump them off cuts, anytime you can put a forearm on them, do it. And our guys, got to learn how to handle that. Teams have adjusted to how we are trying to play. And now it's up to us to adjust to the adjustment. That's kind of what a long basketball season's all about.
You're about a third of the way into the season so far. Talk about the maturation of some of your younger players who've had to play significant minutes and roles that they've never had an opportunity to play before.
Yeah, I was talking to our guys after our shoot around this afternoon, and we play Eureka tonight, and they start 5 seniors. 5 of our 9 players are sophomores or freshmen, and so we are a young team. I think Teddy Oakes has just been outstanding for us at the point guard. We've put it in his hands, and he's really done a good job of dictating pace and tempo, making good decisions. I couldn't be happier with how he's played. He's been tremendous. Charlie Spoonhour, we talked about how much we missed him. He's a guy that can knock down open shots. He sits down and guards and does a good job. Aiden Rush has been really good for us in spots. He's still growing into his body and still learning, that there's a whole nother level for him to get to, but he's working hard to get there. We got Owen Robin and Max Bentrup, who are still kind of finding their way in their role and how they can help us. But they're growing and they're getting better, trying to learn how to play a little stronger, a little more physical. And then, Luke Walsh came out gangbusters, really shot it well early. Teams have really began to focus on making it more difficult for him to catch it and get a clean look. I thought against DeSmet, he did a good job of not getting frustrated and still was cutting and moving and sharing the ball. And, he's learning to find different ways to contribute either when he's not getting shots or his shots aren't falling. So there's a lot of education going on right now with those young guys.
So not only are you teaching in a classroom, but you're teaching just as hard out on the floor with such an inexperienced group.
Yeah, and some of that inexperience, when as coaches we challenge or we get on them. I mean, part of it's them just learning how to handle that and respond appropriately and not get down about it, but just hear the message and grow from it. So yeah, there's a lot of teaching going on, and that being said, we're also not lowering our standards. We have an expectation of how we're going to play and how we want to play, and we're trying to hold them accountable to that too.
You get Eureka tonight in the first round of Coaches versus Cancer. The team you say that starts 5 seniors and 4 of their starters average more than 10 points a game. How do you slow them down?
It's funny. I think us and Eureka philosophically are very similar in terms of how we want to play. Draw 2 defenders with the ball, kick out, shoot an open 3. We try to do that by playing up tempo and fast. They do that by running a lot of great sets. We're going to have to be really good defensively tonight, really good on the ball. We got to dictate where the ball goes. We can't let the ball just change sides of the floor and make us chase it. We'll be in for a long night. So if we can jump to the ball, if we can keep the ball on a side, I think that'll help us defensively. And then offensively, we got to try to push tempo. And, bottom line is, and we've said it all year long, we got to make shots and we got to get them. And then we got to be able to knock down shots. And if we do, I think it's got a chance to be a really fun game. Because I think when we score, it helps set our defense and we're in a little better position defensively. When we don't score, whether that's immaturity and not transitioning to defense quickly, or we're just not in a good defensive shape, it hurts us when they can get out and run off missed shots.
When you started the season, you and I had a chance to talk. You said we're going to be a 3-point shooting team. Some nights we're going to put up 80, some nights we're going to put up 40. Did you expect that you were going to put up 80 as much as you have this early in the season?
I thought we were going to shoot it well. I mean, I don't know if I thought we would be averaging the points per games that we've been averaging, but again, I think the last couple games we've seen teams have begun to try to find ways to counter that, and so we have to now make some adjustments to what we do in order to continue to play at that pace. So I've been pleased with our offense, but I think as teams get more film and coaches start to talk and share ideas, now we've got to figure out how to get clean looks when we're in the half court, because we're not getting everything as easily in the full court.
Coaches versus Cancer put out their all-decade team. Brad Woodson was a part of that all-decade team, a player that you had coached, went to 3 district finals, went to a state championship. And talk a little bit about Brad as he was mentioned in that for that team for the Coaches versus Cancer.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat thing that Coaches versus Cancer did, and a great honor for Brad. He was a 3-time all-tournament selection. His sophomore year, I think we might have even been a 10 seed, and we made a run to the semifinals and got beat. So we played in a 3rd place game. And then his junior year, we won it, and the only time in school history that we won it. His senior year, we got upset, and then we ended up coming back and winning the consolation championship. So I think he had a real nice run there where, I don't know, we might have been like 10-3 in his 3 years on the varsity. And Brad was a great player. He could score from the perimeter. He was about a 6'4" guard, ended up playing at Central Missouri, won a national championship as a freshman at Central Missouri. He and Sean O'Brien were 2 senior captains on our Final Four team in 2013. And he was a great player, great person. He's a lawyer now over in Edwardsville, and comes back and checks in on the team and checks in with me. He was at our championship game in the Vianney tournament. So he's still connected to the program, and, someone we're very proud of for not only what he did on the court, but sort of the man he's become off it.
Before I let you go, you had a handful of home games earlier this month, and having some student involvement back in the games and having them back in the field house has probably meant a lot to the students, especially your student athletes. And talk about having that back for the first time in over a year.
Oh, it was great. And, everybody talks about, oh, this is the first time since this or first time since that. Well, even really prior to COVID, we didn't have great crowds. So to play in the finals of the Vianney tournament and have a nice crowd there against Lutheran South, and then when we came back against DeSmet, and I think they were 4-1 and we were 5-1, we had a great student section. There was great energy, but moreover, there were a lot of people there. There were just basketball fans or former parents or alums that came back and just kind of wanted to see a little bit of what we had going. And the gym was full. And before the game, we walked out for the national anthem. I kind of looked around and thought, man, this is what it's supposed to be about. And this is what high school sports is, having a student section, having your community support you. It was great. And, we got more home games coming up here in January. We play Marquette on the 4th. We got our Painted Pink game on the 14th. Hopefully we can get some nice crowds out there to support a really good group of guys who are working hard to represent our school well.
Well, Coach, I appreciate a few minutes, especially on a game day. Best of luck tonight against Eureka, and best of luck this week. The rest of this week, Coaches versus Cancer, we'll catch up next week, probably sometime after the Marquette game, which is early in the week on Tuesday.
Sounds great, John. Take care of that wheel, buddy.
I'll do the best I can.
All right. Thanks.
Let's see.